Welcome to my presentation. My experiment title is Maximizing Yield and Quality of Groundnut through Agronomic Management Practice in Chorland area of Bangladesh. Outline of the presentation: introduction, objectives, details of experiment, expected outputs, year-wise research activities, ongoing activities. Introduction. Chors are the lands that emerge as islands within the river channel or as attached land to the river bank as a result of the dynamic of erosion and accretion in the rivers. 0.82 million hectare chor land in Bangladesh. 64 to 97% of chor areas are cultivable. Area of Tangail district is 3,414 kilometers square under the AEZ 7, 8, 9 and 28. Total chor lands area of Tangail 19,763 hectare according to DAE Tangail. DAE means Department of Agriculture Extension. Total chor land area of Bhuapur 9,962 hectare according to DAE of Tangail. Some lands remain fallow during Rabi in lowland areas and adjacent to water bodies. Local Boro rice is the main crops. In the medium and highland areas, the major crops are groundnut, sugarcane, millet, wheat, maize, sweet potato, chili, cashew, legumes and other crops are grown. Here some pictures of that regions are demonstrated. Main constants of chor lands are natural hazards such as drought, uncertain flood, duration of flood, scarcity of irrigation facilities, unavailability of fertilizer and field machinery, less knowledge about modern agriculture and education, storage of agricultural labor, high price and scarcity of quality seeds, transportation and communication, cumbersome procedure of getting loan. Cold textured soil, low water holding capacity and low soil fertility are the major constraints of agriculture to achieve satisfactory yield. Some scenario chor land of the specific location. That's mean this location name is Bhuapur. Here chor land, this is river and a farmer who is cultivating groundnut in the chor land. Groundnut is an important oilseed crop in Bangladesh, and the scientific name of groundnut is Arachis hypogea. It occupies the third place in respect of production and areas. It is the world's fourth most important source of edible oil and third most important source of vegetable protein. Groundnut seeds contains 48 to 52% high quality of oil, 24 to 26% highly digestible protein, 20% carbohydrates, 5% fiber and vitamin B and E. It can enrich the soil fertility through fixing atmospheric nitrogen by root nodule bacteria and adding the biomass. The most important use of groundnut is food by roasting and confectionery item. Globally, 50% of groundnut is used for oil extraction, 37% for confectionery use, and 12% for seed purpose. Worldwide groundnut is grown in 26.4 million hectares and average for productivity of 1.40 metric tons per hectare. In Bangladesh, it grown on the area of 31,767 hectares with an average yield of 1.78 metric tons per hectare in Rabi and Kharif season, according to BBS 2015. BBS means Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics. However, the potential yield of groundnut is 2,050 100 to 3,000 kg per hectare, according to Bari 2008, which is higher than national average yield. Here, Bari means Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute. Some common cultivars are Dhaka 1, Basanti Badam DG2, Tai Dana Badam DM1, Jhinga Badam AC12, Bari China Badam 5, Bari China Badam 6, Bari China Badam 7, Bari China Badam 8, Bari China Badam 9 and Bari China Badam 10. These varieties were invented in Bari. Bari means Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute. And following cultivars, that's mean Bina China Badam B4, Bina China Badam 5, Bina China Badam 6, Bina China Badam 7, Bina China Badam 8, Bina China Badam 9. Those cultivars were invented in Bina. That means Bangladesh Institute of Nuclear Agriculture. Nutrient deficiency and their availability is a general problem in the shoreland soil. The amount of fertilizer is inappropriate in most cases due to lack of proper knowledge, and over 97% of the farmers do not follow the recommended dose of farmers, according to Hossain et al. 1981. For this reason, farmers do not get the optimum and desirable quality seeds yield of groundnut. Organic agriculture is one among the broad spectrum of production methods that are supportive of environment. Application of cow dung and poultry manure substitute for 10 kg phosphorus, indicating a very good economic application for a country, according to BRI 2008. BRI means Bangladesh Rice Research Institute. Poultry manure significantly increase nodule dry weight, shoot dry weight, shoot nitrogen content, and yield of nodulated soybean. Muhammad 2002. Phosphorus build up in soil due to application of farmyard manure along with NPK chemical fertilizer. According to Ram 1998, Shashu et al. 1998, phosphorus influence nutrient uptake by promoting root growth, nodulation and specific nodule activity, and thereby ensuring a good yield through the increasing in total dry matter. According to Tomar et al. 1990 and Savani et al. 1995. Increasing phosphorus level, increase level and stem weight per plant, number of pods and seeds per plant, weight of pods and seeds per plant, 100 seeds weight, seed and oil yields, oil percentage, seeds protein content as well as NPK contents, according to L. Babassa et al. 2005. Calcium is the most important factor to change the optimum soil pH, and it can play a vital role on availability of plant nutrient, which also increase pot yield and quality production of groundnut. Application of 60 kg calcium as gypsum gave the highest pot yield. That means 1.79 ton per hectare. Oil yield and number of pots per plant, shelling percentage and 100 seeds weight. Among the secondary macronutrients, calcium deficiency causes ground pegs and knot pods to abort, hence reduce yield, according to Mina et al. 2017. Deficiency of boron and their ability is one of the major constraints to successful groundnut seeds production in Bangladesh. In the soil, borability is affected by many factors, some of which are high pH level, calcium, potassium, nitrogen and organic matter. Polish et al. 1975 found that peanut seed germination was low following dry years in Georgia. Low soil water ability, low part seed generation of sound mature kernels up to 40%. Under irrigated condition, the average yield ranges between 1.5 to 2.5 ton per hectare, whereas the yield under rain-fed condition ranges between 0.2 and 0.8 ton per hectare. Maragan, 1996. Plant growth regulators are organic compound which in small amount modify a given physiological process. Menon and Srivastava, 1984, emphasized the importance of plant growth regulators in source and sink relationship, leading to enhanced translocation of photosynthesis. Plant growth regulators such as gibberellic acid control some process in plant growth and development such as seed generation in soybean, common bean, fava bean, cotton plants, according to Meske et al. 1997. Application of 200 mg per liter of gibberellic acid significantly reduced days of first flowering and 50% flowering, according to Yakubu et al. 2013. Foliar spray of gibberellic acid 3 increase the length of main axis and thus plant higher in increase in groundnut, according to Nigam et al. 1983 and Gardner 1988. Foliar application of NAA 25, 50 and 100 ppm and GA3 50, 100 and 150 ppm increase vegetative growth, and this accelerated vegetative growth resulted in an extensive photosynthetic apparatus and relative increases in LAI and LAD were recorded in Mukbin, Shuma by et al. 1987. Triacontanol TRA have been reported as plant growth regulator and biostimulant by several workers. Candy and Seaton 1967, Reis et al. 1977, Hongland 1980, Bhala 1981, Stuemmer 1981 and Jain et al. 1987. Therefore, main focus will be shoreland area to increase the yield and production of groundnut, to improve the income of shoreland people and increase their income with quality management of practice. Justification. Nutrient deficiency and their availability is an general problem in shoreland area, shoreland soil. Insufficient fertilizer management gave higher yield of crops and reduced fertilizer cost. How low soil water ability lowered seed germination of sound mature kernel up to 40%. Plant growth regulators control some process in plant growth and development. Many agronomic practices are available to explore to increase yield quality of groundnut in chor areas. In Bangladesh, no attempt has been made so far we know to increase the yield and quality of groundnut at chorland ecosystem of Bangladesh. Therefore, it is necessary to conduct research for developing an integrated approach combining all possible agronomic practice for sustainable groundnut production at chorland ecosystem of Bangladesh. Research objectives. The general objectives of the proposed study is to enhance yield and quality of groundnut combining all the possible agronomic practice at chorland ecosystem of Bangladesh. The specific objectives are to select suitable short duration high yielding groundnut varieties for chorland area of Bangladesh, to determine the effect of different fertilizer, irrigation and growth regulator on groundnut yield at chorland ecosystem of Bangladesh, to increase productivity and profitability by adapting and dissemination of high yielding groundnut varieties with modern management practice. Experiment 1. Screening of short duration high yielding groundnut genotypes in selected chorland area of Tangail. To select suitable short duration high yielding groundnut genotypes for chorland ecosystem. This is the objectives of first experiment. Methodology. 40 genotypes will be collected from different treatments. Research Institute and Cultivar Dhaka 1 will be used as check. Design RCBD. Replication 3. Plot site 2 meter by 2 meter. Spacing 30 centimeter by 15 centimeter. Seed rate 100 kg per hectare, fertilizer 12, 30, 43, 52, 54, 2 kg per hectare NPK, S and B. That means nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur and boron respectively based on body recommendation dose. Season Rabi 2018 to 19. Location farmers field of chorland area of Bhapur Upazila under Tangail district. Observation or data to be collected. Parameters, agronomic parameters, germination percentage, initial plant population and at harvest, days to harvest first flowering, days to 50% flowering, days to maturity, plant height, number of branches per plant, total growth duration, days. Yield and yield component, pot setting percentage, number of mature pot per plant, number of mature pot per plant, number of immature pot per plant, number of kernel per plant, 100 pot weight in gram, 100 kernel weight in gram. Haulum yield kg per hectare, pot yield kg per hectare, kernel yield kg per hectare, shelling percentage Experiment 2.1 Effect of integrated nutrient management on the growth and yield of groundnut in the selected chord land area of Tangai. Objectives: to find out optimum nutrient management for maximum ground yield under chord land ecosystem. Methodology: experimental treatments. Two factors involved in the 2.1 experiment. Factor A: best 3 genotypes based on duration as well as yield from experiment 1. Factor B: nutrient management. T1 control, T2 farmers practice, T3 recommended dose of NPK SB, T4 recommended dose of NPK SB and 2.5 ton per hectare cow dung, T5 recommended dose of NPK SB and 5 ton per hectare of cow dung, treatment 6 recommended dose of NPK SB and 2.5 ton of poultry manure, treatment 7 recommended dose of NPK SB and 5 ton per hectare of poultry manure, T8 recommended dose of NPK SB and 2.5 ton of vermicompost, treatment 9 recommended dose of NPK SB and 5 ton per hectare of vermicompost. Experimental design: RCBD with 3 replication. Season Robi 2019 to 2020. Experimental site: farmers field of chord land area of Bhuapur Upazila under the Tangal district. Observation or data to be collected: agronomic parameters, germination percentage, initial plant population at harvest, days to harvest first flowering, days to 50% flowering, days to maturity, plant height in centimeter, number of branches per plant, total growth duration in days. Number 2, yield and yield components: pot setting per percentage, number of mature pot per plant, number of immature pot per plant, number of kernel per pot, 100 pot weight in gram, 100 kernel weight in gram, harum yield kg per hectare, pot yield kg per hectare, kernel yield kg per hectare, shelling percentage, quality parameters, oil content, fatty acid composition, protein content, etc. Experiment 2.2 Effect of water management on the growth and yield of groundnut in selected chord land area of Tangai. Objectives: to elucidate optimum level of irrigation for higher yield of groundnut in chord land areas. Methodology: experimental treatment. 2 factors are involved in the experiment. Factor 1, schedule of irrigation, main plot, that means T1 1 irrigation at flowering stage, T2 1 irrigation at flowering and another irrigation at pot initiation stage, T3 mulching and 1 irrigation at flowering stage, T4 mulching plus 1 irrigation at flowering and another irrigation at pot initiation stage, T5 rain fed. Noted: 6 ton per hectare straw mulch will be used after 100% germination. Factor B, subplot: best 3 genotypes based on duration as well as yield from experiment 1. Experimental design: split plot with 3 replication. Season Robi 2019 to 20. Experimental site: farmers field of chord land area of Bhuapur Upazila under Tangal district. Observation: or data to be collected. Agronomic parameters, germination percentage, soil moisture at 30 days interval, initial plant population at harvest, days to first flowering, days to 50% flowering, days to maturity, plant height centimeter, number of branches per plant, total growth duration in days. Yield and yield components, pot setting percentage, number of mature pot per plant, number of immature pot per plant, number of kernel per pot, 100 pot weight in gram, 100 kernel weight in gram, alum yield kg per hectare, pot yield kg per hectare, kernel yield kg per hectare, shelling percentage. Quality parameters, oil content, fatty acid composition, protein content, etc. Soil properties, soil pH, organic matter content, initial soil nutrient status, final soil nutrient status after harvest. Experiment 2.3, title effect of growth regulators on the growth and yield of groundnut in selected shoreland area of Tangail. Objectives: to select the effective growth regulator and evaluate their performance for higher yield of groundnut in chord areas of Bangladesh. Methodology: experimental treatments, two factors involved. Factors A, growth regulators, and it is set up in main plot. Treatment 1, gibberellic acid GA3, trade name Baronoto. T2, gibberellic acid plus triacontanol, trade name NAFA. Treatment 3, nitrobenzene, trade name Flora. Treatment 4, indole butyric acid IBA. Treatment 5, indole acetic acid IAA. Treatment 6, naphthalene acetic acid NAA. Treatment 7, control. Factor B, subplot, best 3 factor varieties based on during the as well as field from experiment 1. Experimental design, split plot with 3 application, season Rabi 2019 to 2020. Experimental site, farmers field of Chorland area of Bhuapur Upazila under Tangail district. Observation or data to be collected. Number 1, agronomic parameters, germination percentage, initial plant population at harvest, days to first flowering, days to 50% flowering, days to maturity, plant height in centimeter, number of branches per plant, total growth duration in days. Number 2, yield and yield components, pot setting percentage, number of mature pot per plant, number of immature pot per plant, number of kernel per pot, 100 pot weight in gram, number kernel weight in gram, volume yield kg per hectare, pot yield kg per hectare, kernel yield kg per hectare. Shelling percentage. Number 3, quality parameters, oil content, fatty acid composition, protein content, etc. Experiment 3, integrated approaches of nutrient, water and growth regulators on the yield and quality of groundnut in selected shoreland area of Tangail. Objectives: to invent an integrated approach combining all the suitable agronomic practice for maximum groundnut yield under shoreland ecosystem. Methodology: experimental treatments. 3 factors involved. Best one genotype will be used as planting materials. Factor A, best 2 nutrient management from experiment 2. Factor B, best 2 water management practice from experiment 2. Factor C, best 2 growth regulators from experiment 2. Experimental design: factorial design or split plot with 3 replication. Season Robi 2019 to 2020. Experimental site: farmers field of shoreland area of Bhuapur Upazila under Tangail district. Observation or data to be collected: agronomic parameters, germination percentage, soil moisture at 30 days interval, initial plant population at harvest, days to first flowering, days to 50% flowering, days to maturity, plant height in centimeter, number of branches per plant, number of growth duration in days. Yield and yield components: pot setting percentage, number of mature pot per plant, number of immature pot per plant, number of kernel per pot, 100 pot weight in gram, 100 kernel weight in gram, volume yield kg per hectare, pot yield kg per hectare, kernel yield kg per hectare, shelling percentage. Quality parameters: oil content, fatty acid composition, protein content, etc. Soil properties: soil pH, organic matter content, initial soil nutrient status, final soil nutrient status after harvest. Expected output: suitable high yielding short duration groundnut genotypes will be selected for shoreland area. Effective nutrient management, irrigation schedule, growth regulator and variety lines for maximum groundnut yield under shoreland ecosystem will be identified. The yield and production of groundnut will be uplift, which will increase their income with quality management practice. Ultimately, groundnut growing farmers benefited economically by getting higher yield against traditional cultivation practice with old variety. Year-wise research activities. Activity experiment 1, screening of short duration high yielding groundnut genotype in selected shoreland area of Tangail, and this experiment was set up in first year. Experiment 2.1, effect of integrated nutrient management on the growth and yield of groundnut selected shoreland areas of Tangail. Experiment 2.2, effect of water management on the growth and yield of groundnut in selected shoreland area of Tangail. Experiment 2.3, effect of growth regulator on the growth and yield of groundnut in selected shoreland area of Tangail. Experiment and experiment 2.1, experiment 2.2, experiment 2.3. These three experiments were set up in second year. Experiment 3, integrated approach of nutrient, water and growth regulator on the yield and quality of groundnut in selected chore land area of Tangai. And the experiment was set up in third year. Seminar, first year seminar, data collection and analysis, preparation of PhD thesis and scientific papers. All these things were conducted in third year. Thank you very much. This is my experimental result. Thank you very much. Hi guys, I was presenting the cultivation process of groundnut, and now I have to discuss the health benefit of eating groundnuts. The health benefits of groundnut. The study in the London journal found that groundnut skin are rich in phenols, a form of antioxidant. Like other antioxidant, phenols are powerful substances that protect your cell against the harmful effect of free radicals. According to 2012 study from North California University, published in the Journal of Food Science, it was reported that adding a 5% concentration of peanut or groundnut skin to peanut butter significantly increase its antioxidant levels without scarifying taste of texture. The nuts are rich in heart healthy fats, high cholesterol cause fatty deposit in your arteries, which can eventually lead to heart disease. Groundnuts contain monosaturated and polysaturated fats that may keep the heart healthy by helping to lower blood cholesterol levels. Groundnut is a rich source of minerals. Groundnut is a rich source of minerals including magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, zinc, sodium, calcium, etc. And this kind of minerals are essential to maintain process in the body, and the adequate supply of this type of minerals minimize the risk of mineral deficiency in our body, in our disease. And groundnut it also highly source of protein. Protein is the essential component and of our diet, since there are 10,000 type of protein in our bodies. Peanuts have been shown to be extremely high source of plant protein, and they are often incorporated into the diets of vegetarian and protein beneficent people. Groundnuts may help with weight loss. Actually, it is a main fact because the groundnut are high in calories. They are also rich in fiber and protein, factors that increase and prolong the satiety, the sensation of being full satisfied. It means that having a small number of groundnut as a snack help to reduce your overall food intake compared to say the evaluate among the amount of calories consumed through a chocolate bar. Groundnut is also rich in folate. The high level of folate in groundnut could make them particularly beneficial in for the pregnant woman, since studies have shown that folate can reduce the incidence of birth defects and anemia related condition. Always follow your medical practitioner's advice during the pregnancy. Um, that is why maximum physician advise the pregnant to eat groundnut during the pregnancy. Groundnut has a benefit for beauty purpose. Groundnut may help with eczema. Groundnuts may improve inflammatory skin concern like eczema, because groundnut boasts a high level fatty acid which may help to make the skin feel better and look healthier by decreasing inflammation. Groundnut may have anti depression quality. Research published by European Journal Nutrition, they published a report that regular nut consumption resulted in a 66% lower risk of antioxidant in men. This may be due to the high level of tryptophan in groundnut. Tryptophan increase the level of serotonin in brain, which mirrors to action of some antioxidants. So it is tough that groundnut may also have a role of relieving depression. Groundnut may have anti-aging effect. Groundnut contain vitamin E, which is antioxidant that help to slow down the aging process. Antioxidant work by protecting cell against the damaging effect for free radical. Groundnut promote the skin elasticity. Groundnut contain vitamin C, which is the essential factor the synthesis of collagen, a main component in the structure of connective tissue. Maintaining health collagen level helps to keep the skin firm and elastic. So eating groundnut may help keep your skin looking young and supple. It is really simple to consume. Groundnuts may shelling and eating in nut inside, but an alternative, you can also easily make groundnut butter at home. Groundnut butter recipe ingredients. If you want to make groundnut butter in your at your home, you need 300 gram unsalted shelled groundnut, pinch to half teaspoon sea salt, 1 to 2 teaspoon honey, 1 to 3 teaspoon groundnut or vegetable oil if needed. Groundnut butter recipe direction. Roast the peanuts in the oven. Again I say that roast the groundnut in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit or 175 degree Celsius. Gas mark 4 for 3 to 5 minutes, then let them cool. Add the roasted groundnuts to the food processor. Process for 3 to 4 minutes. Add the salt and honey, then process until combined. Check the consistency. If the seems too thick, add oil a teaspoon at the time until it is right for you. You have to keep some caution. That means remember to always consult with your doctor about any medical concern, condition and supplement that you may be taking. Always take the advice of a medical profession on how to proceed with your treatment. Dear viewers, we know the benefit of the groundnut. Now we have to know the side effect of the groundnut. Groundnut are a type of groundnut which belongs to be legume family and is related to beans. Convenient, crunchy and satisfying, groundnut contain protein and many essential nutrients, but eating too many nuts can have negative effect on your health. Too much consumption can cause some side effect of groundnut from the high calorie, fat content, toxin and antitoxins. Contributes to weight gain. One of the disadvantages of groundnut, despite their contribution to your overall health, is higher calorie content. Calorie can make a difference if you are trying to manage your weight. 1 ounce serving of roasting groundnut, which is equal to about a heartful or 39 peanuts, contain 170 calorie. Dietary guideline recommends a highly intake 1600 to 2400 calories for adult women and 2000 to 3000 calories for adult men, depending on age and level of physical activity. That would mean a handful peanut accounts for 9% of your daily calories allowance if you allow a 2000 calories diet. Inhibits mineral absorption. We know groundnut are good source of phosphorus, which 113 milligram per ounce. However, phosphorus in peanuts is a storage from called phytic acid and phytate, Phytates are often refers to an anti-nutrient because they chelate other minerals, preventing your body's ability to utilize them. When you eat groundnut, the phytates bind with your nutrient and reduce their absorption. The most vulnerable mineral are iron, zinc, calcium, magnesium. In addition, phytates reduce the disability of protein, and over time this can lead to mineral deficiencies, allergies, irritation of the intestinal tract. According to living, phytates can contribute a mineral deficiency, especially in young children or people with poor diets. You can reduce your risks by eating a balanced diet that include all the food groups. But if you have a mineral deficiency such as zinc or iron, limiting the intake of a high phytic acid contain food and advised by GL Society. Groundnut has also allergic side effects. Groundnut are one of the most common allergen and can cause severe potential life-threatening response. A reaction of groundnut can unpredictable even with very small amounts. The results from your body's immune system, which identifies the groundnut protein as harmful and triggers symptom. Causal skin content does not usually present a problem unless the affected area touch your eyes, nose and mouth. Unintentional cross contamination may happen as a result of food being exposed to groundnut during the preparation. And some symptom and sign which is occurred due to allergic response due to groundnut that includes runny nose, skin reactions such as itching, hips, redness and swelling, tingling in the mouth and throat, tightening of your throat, shortness of breath and wheezing. In the severe allergic reaction, anaphylaxis might result, which is necessary treatment with epinephrine or an immediate trip to hospital may include constriction of airways or throat, severe drop in blood pressure, rapid pulse, dizziness, loss of consciousness. Above mentioned symptom when occurs, the person should be immediately admitted in the hospital. Groundnut also contains too much sodium. Before you dig into the bowl of 3 groundnuts at the bar, consider the sodium content. Many types of groundnuts have salt and flavoring added that may have an impact of their blood pressure. For example, 1 ounce of salt Valencia groundnuts contain 219 mg of sodium. The USDA recommends you limit your sodium intake to 2300 mg daily. that amount of 1 teaspoon. Although you need sodium to balance the fluid in your body and help with muscle contraction and nerve impulse. Too much sodium can negatively impact your health. The American Health Association explains that extra sodium in your bloodstream pulse water into your blood vessels. The extra volume result in an increase of blood pressure, which can put an extra burden on your heart. Raw groundnuts are naturally low in sodium and contain only 5 milligrams per ounce. So be sure that read the labels and opt the unsalt or low sodium varieties of your groundnuts. Another important thing, that is danger of mold contamination. Aflatoxin are family of toxins that are produced by certain fungi found on groundnuts. This type of mold in abundant in the warm, humid region of the world where peanuts are grown, harvested or stored. Which peanuts have a soft, permeable pot and grow underground as a part of plant's root system. They risk damage from temperature and moisture condition. And this is a side effect of groundnuts. And this is the presentation overall the groundnuts production research system and its benefit and also its side effect. I hope this discussion will help your lifestyle to and keep your health in sound. Thank you very much.